When it comes to the offseason, we see a lot of trade and free agency news and rumors, and oftentimes when they're happening, we're somewhat expected. However, we got this new piece of news for the Golden State Warriors that none of us really thought of. And just a few days ago, the Phoenix Suns acquired superstar Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards, while sending Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, 4 second-round picks, and a few pick swaps. And by that time, another report came out with this. According to the latest by Golden State SB Nation and NBA Insider Shams Charania, quote, report, Warriors reached out to Suns about potential Chris Paul trade. Now, this means the Golden State Warriors actually reached out to the Suns before the trade with the Wizards was made. Taking another look by Shams here, quote, in recent report, Shams Charania of The Athletics named both the LA Clippers and Golden State Warriors as teams to watch for a possible deal for Paul, adding that both teams discussed deals with Phoenix before Paul was moved to Washington. Now, it makes sense that the Clippers are in the conversation as they are still actively searching for a guard, but the fact that the Golden State Warriors are in this conversation is quite interesting. After thinking back and forth, I'm seeing some level of positive, but also some level of negative and concerns. In today's video, let's break down what the Warriors front office is thinking and what can we learn from this interesting piece of news. So without further ado, let's roll the intro.
Hi. I'm on my match in the dark. 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 I'm on my match in the
Yo, what's up guys, Jason's here back with another video. If it's the first time watching, I mostly cover news and reports for the Golden State Warriors, but we also occasionally make content for every other team in the league. So if you want the latest basketball news and rumors on your feed, all you gotta do is to leave a like and subscribe so that you won't miss any of my future upload. Now, without a doubt, the Warriors don't need any starting guards because, of course, the team still has Steph Curry and Klay Thompson locked up for the next season. However, bench presence is needed. The Warriors have been searching for a solid backup guard behind Steph Curry for years, and I think the fact that the team is involved in such a conversation shows us that the front office is acknowledging the fact that backup point guard is a major need for the team. Now, I made a video yesterday talking about Dante DiVincenzo possibly opting out to play elsewhere. The rumor about the Warriors trying to trade Chris Paul makes even more sense. The reason why I say the Warriors are in need of a solid backup point guard for Steph Curry is that whenever Steph gets off the court, the Warriors offense basically stops. Because truth be told, when Steph is off, there basically isn't a true number one option that can be relied upon. If you think about the Nuggets, you got Jokic and Murray. You think about the Lakers, you got Bron AD. And if you think about the Clippers, you got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So you can definitely see how important it is to find that true number one option behind Steph. And of course, I'm not saying that Chris Paul can be the man for sure, or Klay or Draymond or Wiggins isn't good enough, but I'm simply pointing out the area that the Warriors can improve on. Now, for Chris Paul, he still has some gas left in his tank. Despite dealing with injury in recent years, Paul was averaging 13.9 points, 4.3 rebounds, 8.9 assists, and 1.5 steals per game, while shooting 37.5% behind the arc. To me, this is the kind of playmaker and shooter the Warriors need to lead the second unit off the bench. Now, CP3 is still a good player that just came off a back-to-back All-Star season before this year, but with his age, he is slowly turning into a bench leader instead of a starter. Although he is a true leader and is great on offense, but his 6-foot physical presence oftentimes gets picked on by opponents. The positives that I'm sensing out of this is that the Warriors are willing to exchange some of the young players like Paul and Moody or a GP2 for veteran players, because hear me out. At this current moment, these young players will not win championships. The Warriors need proven veterans since championship winner for them is literally closing really soon. So I'm very glad to see that the front office is willing to bend over for some veterans players to contend right now. However, the negatives also present themselves, and that's Chris Paul's contract. Chris Paul got 2 years left on his deal with a $30.8 million cap hit next season and $30 the year after that. If the Warriors were to contend this season, this won't do it. Thinking about the Warriors team, they need help on the wing and the post. I'm talking about forwards and centers. And basically from a financial perspective, the Warriors are already spending more than enough at the guard position. You got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Moses Moody, Jordan Poole, and GP2. These 5 players combined cost over $120 million. Let's say the Warriors actually trade for Chris Paul. If you were to flip Moses Moody and Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, number one, that doesn't make sense because the Warriors will completely lose their young talents at the guard position. And let's say then if they package Jordan Poole and Gabriel II, it will only lead to a higher cap hit with less depth and defensive presence. And third, to be honest, there's no point that the Warriors sacrifice more of their frontcourt players. We're just already lacking the trade for more contracts in the backcourt. You can sure make an argument that Chris Paul's contract next season is partially guaranteed, and the after that is not guaranteed at all, meaning you can waive him then save money. But then, this is basically saying the Warriors are trading a bunch of assets for a 1-year rental of Chris Paul, which is obviously detrimental for this Warriors team considering its short championship window and its extremely tight cap room. I mean, overall, I'm glad that this trade did not happen. Sure, it would be great to have Chris Paul on the team leading the second unit, but the fact that he's already 38 years old with this massive cap hit might cause more harm than good for this team. However, I'm still a strong supporter to trade for more proven veterans than sticking with these young players because I would rather go all in to win now than having a mediocre squad for the next 2 to 3 years. Now, as Chris Paul is officially part of the Wizards, which is going to a rebuild mode, there's a chance that the Wizards waive him or they might trade him elsewhere. Now, if the Warriors were to trade for Chris Paul, I'm hoping that we can get some kind of draft capital back in return because that will add more assurance for the future while also creating more opportunities for the Warriors to trade for some more players. Alright guys, that's all we got for today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you think the Warriors will eventually land Chris Paul. And if you enjoy the content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on social media with all the links in the description box down below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.